So we're gonna mix it up today. Monday's footage I'm going to save for Sunday, when we have Coach Miguel on from Montgomery BJJ. At least that's the current plan. So we're gonna go over last Thursday's footage. I believe it was last Thursday. Yeah. So gi footage from last Thursday. As I recall, we had a good turnout. It was one day that I was actually there, so that's different. But yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, it was pretty disgusting. This time of year, it's always hot in there. Gis make everything worse. So it's pretty awful. And yeah, this was the first week of half guard week, so I'll try to be on the lookout. Whatever, dude. How you doing, Justin? I'm gonna be on the lookout for some half guard stuff that you guys are pulling. Somebody, who is that? Is that up top? Is that Austin? I was just looking at this outside trip follow through. Couldn't tell who that was. So we got Mike and Brandon, Danny and Duncan. I'll let you guys sort this out. Brandon immediately working to the back. Here's where gis are good. Brandon gets a good sleeve control grip right at the wrist. It just pulls Mike's arm aside, hits the arm drag, and a nice, easy back take, standing position. I had a fun choke on somebody in the gi. It may have been this night. I can't remember. Or maybe it was no, I think it was with Kurt the Tuesday prior. I think you would have been proud, Justin. It was some funky lapel stuff. All right, so Duncan and Danny. Let's look at this armbar. So Danny working from mount. He's done a great job here of getting his knees all the way up underneath Duncan's arms. So Duncan's elbows are starting to get a little isolated. Open elbows are elbows in danger. So Danny cuts the angle. And notice how Danny's not too concerned with Duncan's rolling escape right now. He's weighing heavily on the right side arm to make it a little bit more difficult for Duncan to hit that rolling escape or the hitchhiker. And then once he feels stable enough, he switches to working on the guard break. It's a good example of just taking your time working through the strangle. Or through the arm break, not the strangle. Was it you, Steven? Okay. All right. Maybe it was this night. I don't remember now. Now I got to be on the lookout for it. So I think it was from a back crucifix position, and I used the tail of my jacket and wrapped it around your neck. And then I think I may have even gotten my leg involved. I don't remember. Who do we have? I think that's Kyle and Steven right now. Yeah, from the back crucifix. I want to go back to Kyle's back take on Steven here. It's hard to see. So it looks like... All right. Sorry, I'm going back a ways. But Steven and Kyle up here in the corner. Steven, it looks like you're trying to make your way to the back here. Kyle's playing really heavy, trying to keep you from regarding. He's got you in a tough spot to defend there by getting you up on your shoulders. I think I remember I did that to you maybe this night as well, like hiking you up kind of like you do during the double underpass, getting somebody as immobilized as you can by getting them on the shoulders, like grabbing their belt, grabbing the bottom of their gi jacket, their pants, whatever. Yo, what's up, man? Roofy, how you doing, man? Or Ruffy, I don't know what you prefer. Roofy might be troublesome. But yeah, gets Steven up on his shoulders, makes it really difficult for him to regard, and then works to turtle position. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining us. You a grappler? We are from Mooresville, North Carolina. This is our jiu-jitsu school where we review open mat footage on Wednesdays and most Sundays. Yeah, little tape review action. Let's see. Sorry, I lost track of things. Yeah, USA, North Carolina, USA. Where are you from? All right, so let's look at Brandon and Mike here. I missed this setup, but Brandon working from close guard, and Mike standing up. I'm sure by now, I mean, with as much as you guys have heard me rant about the standing guard break, you can tell there are some differences between gi and no gi, especially in the bottom guy's ability to control posture. So it's, you know, the fact that Mike has gotten up to standing here means he's been winning the grip battle at this point. So this is a good spot for Brandon to choose his next move, right? It's probably not going to be too difficult. I don't know. Brandon's got long legs. He might be able to hold on to this longer than most people. But this scoop grip that he has on Mike's leg here is useful. Just got to make quick use of it to transition to like the standard, you know, ashigarami or remiashi sweep that we like to do, pulling the right leg down. And then I know a few weeks ago Mike showed like an entrance to backside 50-50 from there too. So Brandon, don't wait for Mike to break your guard open here. Make sure you do it yourself. Cool, from Turkey. You are our first viewer from Turkey. Do you train too, or do you grapple out there? I have no idea what the jiu-jitsu scene is like over in that part of the world. Steven, fancy. So we'll check back in with Kyle and Steven here. Looks like Steven spent a good bit of time keeping Kyle in his guard, disrupting his forward movement with some good framing here. Now Kyle gets this straight ankle grip. Okay, how does he lose that? All right, so yeah, you can see, nice. So this is a great example of arm positioning, the kind of arm positioning we talk about when working close guard, how we talk about getting the arm all the way across the body, either across the center line, near the center line, I'm talking the elbow, towards the center line, or wide open. Here, Steven's been slowly working his hips out to the outside, trying to cut an angle on Kyle. If you could see your opponent's back, you got a good chance of taking the back. And I think that's what Steven's trying to sink his teeth into here. So right here, I love that double sleeve grip, at the wrist and the elbow, just to pull it by as you hit the hip switch. And then now getting the leg up and over. You're basically working yourself into a clamp position here, which we know there's a lot you can do there. You choose to take the leg over the head rather than working the straight clamp. And then, yeah, that was nice. Keep in mind this spot, if you can't get the arm straightened, like in a traditional armbar, remember, you can always keep the arm bent at like this, and then get your hips right behind the elbow and basically hit an Americana, but you're using, you know, gripping around the shoulders with your legs, and, you know, a double wrist grip, not in the Kimura sense, but like a 2-on-1 wrist grip to finish the Americana with your hips. Not a wrestler or fighter, just like to watch. Hell yeah, man. I think most everybody in the chat here would agree with that. Grappling makes watching the UFC and other MMA events a lot more fun, in my opinion. But yeah, stick around. I hope you learn something, or maybe get bitten by the grappling bug. And feel free to ask any questions. Let's see. Looks like Duncan's hopping up to work on his standing guard break. Danny's so used to it now with everybody. He's a tough one to crack. I mean, you can tell Danny doesn't mess around with the typical, I guess you call it like a hip push, like the double ankle sweep. He pulls his shins right inside. Here he overshot, so his knees are behind Duncan. So he chooses, well, I can't do a double shin sweep, so I'll go to my Irimiyashi. Ruffy, thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate it. How did Steven get back? Kyle. Oh, little De La Riva work. Nice. Oh yeah, of course. Khabib's, he's a monster to watch. I'm a big fan of his of him and all the Dagestani wrestlers, because they're not only just like completely dominant. They've actually been really entertaining, yelling at Dana White during the matches and telling their opponents that they just need to quit and all that stuff, while just completely dominating them. So Steven here makes his way to the back. Looks like you're working a collar strangle here. Bit of a hand fight. Let's see what you do to get... Okay. I was wondering how you just slipped that leg out so easily. I guess he was posting his weight on his arm and his leg, like his hips maybe were coming off the ground. What did Danny do? Oh, it looks like Danny got a straight ankle. Okay. This Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or bear wrestling? Is this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or bear wrestling? If you looked at some of the guys on the mat, you may think it's bear wrestling. I wouldn't fault you for thinking that. Actually, Justin's not on the mat. He's our resident polar bear. So it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or just Jiu-Jitsu. And yeah, Oliveira's also a badass. He's an undeniably excellent grappler. Yeah, right. Yeah, it definitely feels that way. Like with me. I'm a black bear. I'm a black gi. Maybe this is the match where I got that strangle. I'll have to look for it. See how Mike handles Danny. Danny's been giving me so much trouble lately, just because he's finally come around to the ways of refusing to give up top position, or like refusing to be put down. Like, he's just made that mental switch that has made grappling with him so much more annoying. If you made me pick, I would put my money on Islam for the between the two of them. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not sure. That's a real toss-up. I definitely... what's the fight? I think Magomed is going against Diaz soon. I think that's going to be a great fight. Diaz is a killer. you know, he's a longtime black belt in jiu-jitsu, and his credentials there are undeniable. But I think Magomed's gonna take that one. Steven launching me. Let's look at that again. It's like I just got way too committed. Pulls me up. Gets a good grip. Yeah, right here my hips are just way too high over yours. Yeah, Oliveira's just proven to be a bit too resilient. He's such a difficult one to put down and keep down. Or is it Khamzat? Yeah, probably. You're probably right. I haven't paid enough attention to the upcoming cards. I know I could tell you, I could point to the guy if I saw a picture and say he's fighting Diaz. I just can't remember his name now. Yeah, I think it is Khamzat. So here, I think I remember I was trying to work between, I want to say some shoulder crunch gripping, double unders. I think I may have just been trying to work those two a lot during this round. It's funny because so many of you, look at that. That was sick. Let's look at that again. I'll finish my thought later. Oops, a daisy. One more time. So from the front headlock, never letting go of that lapel grip, just to try to keep him at a distance I like, close enough to where I can disrupt his feet with my feet, get him off base. Yeah, once, it's funny, if this was Nogi, you would have slipped right out of that. I wouldn't have been able to stand, but being able to grab onto the pant leg, standing up, keeping that leg with me, and then not wasting any time trying to get to the step in, so you couldn't set up any grips up top. And then now, big heavy pass that way. And yeah, right here. So this is something, I feel like this is a detail I've personally neglected on a lot of guard passing. It's getting people up on their shoulders. Nah, man, your English is just fine. I've understood everything you've said. Feel free to practice it here. Getting somebody up on their shoulders when you're hitting like double under passes, or like you've broken out of a triangle and you kind of do what I did here where you shuck that leg by. Letting them stay like with their hips lower just gives them room to like shoulder walk back, reestablish their guard, and take away everything you just worked to get. So like I really made it a point here to try to stack you as heavily as I could, and make your shoulders the only point of contact with the ground. Getting your hips right over your head makes it impossible really to like shoulder walk back. So once I'm here, I can control the action a little bit more and get to a better spot. I guess technically I still haven't won the pass since you turtled up. I'm always a student. I'm a coach too, but I'm never not learning. Sorry, dude, if your English is poor, I'm always learning, not double negatives. It looks like Danny has chosen to give up top position against Mike here. I am 34 years old. 34 years young. 34 years fun. How old are you, buddy? Really stuck here in turtle. Okay, yeah, I remember what I was trying to do. This is like a legs Kimura setup that didn't work out. We'll get to that fun strangle in a second. But there's a cool little, it's not little, I shouldn't say it's little, it's actually super dangerous. But that's why I only do it on Steven. Now if I got my right leg, if I step my leg up and Steven thinks to like grab my right leg, which I was kind of hoping he would, either that or I get my leg in here, I can put on really significant armbar pressure. You know, Steven's going to have a hard time keeping his arm bent against my legs trying to straighten back out. In putting that armbar pressure on, he'll often switch from my front side leg, in this case my right leg, you know, trying to hug that to, you know, turning his arm to relieve the pressure, but his arm goes over my left leg. When that happens, and this is, you know, it may sound complicated, just talking through it. I could show you guys a class one day. If you can trap that arm that's hooked over your rear leg, straighten out to where, you know, your spines are pointing in the same direction, and do a forward roll, you get him in a legs Kimura, and it's not an omoplata. Steven or your opponent will wind up on their back. Your leg would be tangled with their arm, and if they don't roll, if they don't end up on their back, they don't roll, the momentum of your roll can be enough to really do some damage. That's why if you're going to do it, you do it slowly, let your partner roll, and then keep them flattened out, and you can hit a really nasty, really powerful Kimura here. So I was I got Steven's arm to go over the leg I wanted it to go over. I was looking to roll, but he starts stacking into me here. So I just choose to keep the crucifix, the rear crucifix, and then have a little bit of fun. Did I need to get the leg? Oh, okay, that's what I did. So one more time. Justin, is this good? Tell me this is good. I want your approval. As soon as we get here, this is so fun because, like, a lot of you guys don't get to come, or, you know, you don't come out to Tuesday class. So I get to every once in a while test some of this stuff that I don't get to do too often on my usual training partners. So there I use my right jacket tail over the front side. I pass it off, make it all the way around the neck. I tried to get my leg over the head. I feel like that would have been infinitely more powerful, but Steven wasn't having it. That was fun. I really, really like that one. That was cool. 24 years old and you don't grapple. If you have a school near you, you absolutely should. I wish I started. I mean, I guess I didn't start much later, but I started when I was 27. And having 3 extra years of training would have been awesome. I'm 34. I got a decade on you, man. Sometimes I think I'm just too short for the Tomonagi, which I really wanted to hit there, and I just, like, Steven's legs are still bent. Like, I just did not elevate him at all. I don't know why I even bother. What happened with Danny and oh, Danny and Mike over here in the corner. Watch it just be a wrist lock finish. Damn, Mike is staying mounted, getting a really good grip until he's ready to dismount. That was sick. I mean, let's look at how long that took. So Mike gets outside the arm here, and he stayed on it for 30 seconds before even attempting to put finishing pressure on. So keep that in mind. Danny's like seeing stars with that one. Yeah, I'm in the black gi right here. That's me. This is our other coach, Mike, who's normally with us. He's normally right here in the corner, giving the same sort of commentary that I am. Opinion on Origin gis. They're great. I have one. I'm not wearing one in this footage. Also, welcome, Boggy, and thank you for the follow. Origin gis are rad. They're super good quality. it's definitely a positive take on the you get what you pay for rule. I don't know how old mine is, but it was like one of the first generation ones, and it's still in great condition. But I can't bring myself to pay for one of like the $300 awesome keys, just because there's so many other things I could spend my money on. But they're entry level, like their comp. I think I bought like their comp Athleta one or something like that. It was a good one. Almost gotta roll through. Oh, this was where I was doing a bit more. I was trying a bit more of the double underhook and shoulder crunching, like using them in combination together. Let's see, a little slow. So going for the shoulder crunch here. I don't know, man. That was just, I don't even know how I didn't get that on you. I think I just need to elevate your hips more on that. Start to come out the back. We get into that whizzer tight waist dog fight. Even with my belt grip, I wasn't. Actually, did you even have like a deep whizzer on that? Pretty shallow whizzer. Should have tried to go for a single as opposed to fighting you through that. But killer defense. I mean, shutting down my sweeps, barreling me over. Yeah, dude, solid base. Yeah, no problem, Boggy. Are you a grappler as well? Are you considering getting one of their gis? I am a brown belt. That's my color. Me and Coach Mike here are both brown belts, and we train under the two black belts who own the school. What did I miss? There was like a good takedown here, wasn't there? Was Joe working something? Mike on the outside trip. The Ko-Uchi-Gari. Or Kosoto-Gari, my bad. Don't think, man. Just do it. If you can. If your body's up for it, I'm sure you know exactly how rough it can be on you. How long did you train for? Falling into defense. Involuntarily falling into defense. So Danny started talking smack to me here because he's I think he felt like he was close to his reverse triangle. He's like, man, nobody lets me get it anymore. Everybody figured out where to put their head to shut it down and make it difficult. And the best thing about it in gi is being able to grip his pant leg to just make it that much more difficult for him to get the leg up and over. But here, notice. So I'm not in half guard right now, and it is half guard week. I said I'd point some things out if I saw them. But let's just say, let's backstep a few seconds here, and let's say I was in half guard. I got my leg free, and I passed by. Big thing I would have done wrong here, or quote unquote wrong, is Danny has the underhook. So honestly, I'm not in a great spot. I've passed his guard, but he's got a really powerful frame on me here with that underhook. So immediately feeling this, I try to elbow down to make his underhook a bit more shallow, and rather than climbing up the body, getting my hips in line with his shoulders, which would make it really, really easy for him, even with a shallow underhook, to shuck me over and take my back, I instead walk my hips back down towards his hips and try to get my knees or get his legs shelved on my right knee and start pointing his knees away. So you can see I'm starting to look at it a little slow. Starting to take him back down. I'm not going up to the arms or to the shoulder line where a lot of people think you want to go when you're in side control. It makes sense, but it only makes sense if you have control at that point, and I didn't right here. Questions, nice place. I'm glad you like us, man. If you ever make it to Mooresville, North Carolina, I don't know why you would, but if you ever make it, definitely come check us out. We've had a few guys come through who have done MMA fights and like are actively interested. Nobody on the screen here has done them. It's a tough sport, man. Like, that's if I'm gonna get punched and kicked in the head, like, I gotta feel like I can commit as much time as possible to it as I can, and that's just not in the cards for me. And I think everybody of the 4 guys rolling in the center here, I'm the only one who doesn't have kids, and I'm pretty confident the rest of them wouldn't have the time to train for MMA. But the people who I have rolled with, who do train or who do compete, they're just tough, man. They're another breed. So Mike and Joe spending a lot of time in north-south there for a bit. Joe walking himself back into side control. Getting his frames in. Looks like he's trying to regard here. Mike going up to knee on belly. I didn't quite see where the submission was, if there was one. Oh, okay. It's a collar strangle, cross collar strangle. Just another reason why gi sucks. You have to worry about that. So Mike establishes with his right hand a good deep grip. We always say the right or the first hand in on the collar strangle is going to be the most important one, the one that really sets the tone for the strangle. So you got to get that one nice and deep. Here you see his hand's like past Joe's shoulder here. So with that, he can start to focus on getting parallel. Little grip adjustment there. I like what he did there. Mike used his grip to preemptively open up Joe's neck. You see he gets his forearm under Joe's chin and then flares his elbow out to make it easier to get the grip, to get a high enough, decent grip on Joe's left side. And I say decent not because Mike didn't get a good grip. It's because you don't need a grip quite as high with the second hand. There's really no point in fighting for a grip that high. So he gets, good enough on the second one, but really good on the first one. So he opens up the neck. That's gonna make the strangle even more effective later, but helps him get a little bit of clearance on the second lapel. And then now just gets nice and heavy, brings the head to the top arm. I'm pretty sure it was the top arm. Typically you want it to be, I believe. Yeah. So Mike reaches under the first arm. You don't have to do it that way, but that's typically how most people do it. Brings his head towards the hand that is on the top side arm. Gets nice and heavy. Look how I mean, he's pinning his head right next to Joe's, and then pulling his elbows towards the hips. He's not pulling the elbows out across the body. He's kind of curling his torso in to get that strangle. It's a subtle movement from that position. Take care, man. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate all the questions. And go learn some grappling or some striking. And here, Danny pretty much just beats my ass for the next, I don't know, however long. Look how Mike is framing on Joe and then using his legs just to try to get a little bit of angle, a little bit of movement. Mike immediately gets his left knee in from north-south here. And that's like when we talk about framing when you're pinned, how like if you're in side control on the bottom, I always urge you guys get one frame in. Use that frame to get your second frame. Use that to get your third and your fourth. Mike did that here with north-south by focusing on, well, he already had a few frames. He had, his arms in at the hips, And by virtue of Joe's head position, he could tell that he had a bit of hip mobility here, and he focuses on getting just one knee in underneath Joe's chest, and he can use that to pivot back around and work to re-guard. Pretty standard north-south. Joe did a good job disrupting that, though. That little like ankle trap you've got there, that's going to make it really difficult for Mike to get the shin across the hip. You see Mike's trying to switch to the other side to do the same thing. Good pressure. Heavy shoulder pressure. Getting a little leaned over too much. Mike will not hesitate to just roll you from here. Which I think it looks like he's kind of trying to do. You're a little bit bigger than me, though, so you might be giving him more trouble. Danny going up to almost a mounted triangle, but I wasn't too keen on that. He was doing a lot to try to get one arm in, one arm out here, but I think I just fished. I gave him that little bump and then fished my right arm out, so he didn't have it. Had to switch back to side control. Jeez, how did Mike get out of that? I look away for 1 second. Okay. So a big step over, and Mike managed to catch your leg. Mike making use of the butterfly hook. And just backing on out. Let's give Danny some props here too. Giving me a lot of heavy pressure. I think I was trying to... Actually, I don't want to congratulate him on that. Screw that. I think I was working to an underhook from here and trying to shuck him over to get out, and just didn't have enough gas. Nice little hop over my body right into mount. That's embarrassing. So I really like what Mike's doing here strategy-wise with Joe. I mean, he just spent the later half of this round being pinned and dealing with Joe's top pressure here. From this seated guard, and Joe in kind of a kneeling / seated guard, he doesn't stick around to just like agree to play the bottom position. Instead, he frames and says, all right, if you want to sit on your butt, I'll get up. He heists up and takes top and immediately throws on a front headlock, rather than just accepting, continuing to stay on the bottom position. And whatever, this is a friendly roll, so Joe could just be capitulating, but it's not always. I mean, I find myself having to do that more and more, especially with the bigger guys in class, like not trying to sweep, not trying to, disrupt guard passes, framing, creating space, getting up, kind of like I'm trying to do with Danny right now, actually. Yeah, I mean, almost carbon copy of what Mike just did. Controlling the posture. I'm getting frames in. I say, all right, I'm tired of this. I'm going to get up. I'm going to try to control the head. Danny gets the best of it here. I think we're like right at the end of the round, I thought. But yeah, don't think you have to just, work a sweep every time. A lot of times the path to escape can just be getting back up and winning the standing battle. How did Danny finish this here? Oh shit, look at Danny. He's choosing not to stay down right now, so he gets a head an arm in front headlock. Really little like cow catcher. That underhook takes me right over. That was really nice. And I'm just doing what I can to not be mounted again. Try to work an elbow escape. Yeah, Neon Belly sucks, dude. It's let's see, where you were you working it or trying to work it? Where are you talking about here? Like, were you trying to get up to Neon Belly and utilize it? If so, I'm just going to assume until the 30-second lag passes for the Twitch chat. You want to be okay. You want to be like, your head's a little too low for working Neon Belly. Like, there's really no point. I mean, you know you want to be upright. That way, it's it is effectively pinning, right? You're putting a lot of weight on the guy at a crucial part of his body. But it also, like, you're gonna want to set up some, I guess, some deeper, more effective grips. Like, I love that you're going for the underhook here. I would highly recommend establishing that as well as you possibly can first before jumping up to Neon Belly, because there's a transition there where you make a lot of space, and it can be easy for somebody as you transition up to that to get a leg in, or any sort of frame to disrupt it. So establishing some good grips first is going to be key, which is, you can probably say that about a million things in the sport. Where are we? Too far. There we go. We've got Duncan, Steven, Cole, and Mike. Is that Brandon and Danny, maybe? So Cole moving really heavily forward, trying to control Mike's legs here. Like, in this position, for a second he had a nice, I like that grip he's got on the bottom, on Mike's bottom leg. I'm trying to think. I mean, I feel like this is just like knee cut city. Like, I think a quick knee cut with the right leg is going to be, I'm having a hard time. I'm not sure what grip. Okay, Mike's got Cole's right arm. So it might not be, it might not be the best. Like, if Cole could establish an underhook, then he'd want a knee cut. But it doesn't mean that he can't shin pin, right? If he stepped this knee over top of Mike's leg and just kind of stapled it to the mat, not necessarily having to slide through, that would free up his left arm to then work on controlling Mike at the shoulder line, breaking grips, things like that. But he's just got Mike's legs so controlled and like opened here that I think he could really do something from that position that he just didn't see. There's Mike again, just choosing to not stay down. Getting back, heisting up. See Mike getting ready to like limp arm out of that overhook. What happened with Steven Dunk? Steven, were you working at Darce here? In the gi? Darce from half guard, using the threat of the submission to pass, But then just keeping the threat of the submission on. Looks like... Is that what happened? Yeah, gets the Darce. It was good. Like, this was a, you know, solid that you got this. I wouldn't fall to your back with this. I would actually... So this is going to be personal preference. I think Danny likes to finish it a different way, and they work extremely well for him. Mitch has a terrible Darce. By terrible, I mean effective. Danny likes to finish from his side, so he would actually... Danny sits to his... In this case, he would sit to his right hip, whereas you kind of fall to your left. Or no, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, no, you do go to your left. Another great option is to take your head, like from here, take your head in this direction, flatten him out, like put him on his back, and then walk around into mount. Try to step over into mount, all while keeping that Darce on. And it adds that torsional, you know, rotational pressure that we talk about with like the rear naked strangle, the guillotine, what else? The arm triangle, really any strangle. It's just a great way to like multiply the strain on the neck and the force on the strangle. But either way, that was solid. I remember you and Danny going over that, using the Darce to pass the half guard. Is that where that started? Did you guys start in half guard from there? Yeah, it looks like it. And you reach under, take the far. Yeah, that was flashback to watching you guys drill that. What is this lullaby? Yeah, it works for you, man. I feel like you tried to hit that on me recently. Either you or Danny. Oh, Luke's on the map. Luke must have just been over there the whole time. I feel like I haven't even seen him roll. Looking at Mike and Cole, just seeing how they got to where they got to. Cole with his overhook. Okay, Mike just slips out. Starts working his guard pass. So Mike's really trying to get behind or like flank Cole's leg. You know, Cole about had him, well, he had him off balance, but Mike could easily adjust. It's a good attempt by Cole to disrupt his base. Mike doing some leg riding, surfing around. God, I've seen just happened with Duncan. I surprised him really good. I thought you guys were still like recovering from the Darce. I saw you guys slap hands to start a new roll. I was like, oh, I guess I took a break. Oh, you bastard. Yeah. Yeah. He's probably like, sweet, I got behind him. Oh shit, my leg. I feel like you wanted to do this. You were just like, go ahead, take my back. For Duncan, I mean, I guess so. Lesson here is don't hang around there too much, especially when someone's straddling your leg, right? Like Steven makes the adjustment here. I mean, this is kind of funny. Like if you look at this, you could lose whose leg is who, but this and that are Steven's legs. Duncan's leg that gets attacked is here. Like it's so deep into the knee bar by the time they even start to fall that there's just no getting out of that. There's probably really no turning the angle either to relieve it. I mean, how they got here is, I think Duncan's holding on a bit too long and not making quick, effective use of the position. Duncan, there are plenty of ways to take somebody down from being behind them. That either send them backwards or send them forwards. I would say get one or two in your arsenal that are just quick go-tos. That way this doesn't happen, right? When Steven has the time to adjust to this back take, that's where this is going to happen. But if you can quickly disrupt his base, keep him from setting up his legs, right, which is all he did here. Like, he had enough stability to like set everything up for this. If you can disrupt that, with just constant attacks on his balance, that's what'll keep you safe and eventually put him down, and you'll be in a great spot on his back. And if you need some finishing techniques from standing behind somebody, bring it up to me at class next time I'm there. We'll go over it. Duncan foot behind Steven's heel, sit. Without Duncan foot behind Steven's heel and sit. I mean, well, if Duncan's feet are behind Steven, period, Steven doesn't have the depth of that knee bar. Steven could technically, like, let's see if I could. So like here, Duncan's foot is behind. Steven could kind of, it'd almost be like a jumping entry, but you're like front flipping into it. Like Steven would try to front roll, and in that roll, try to get Duncan to go over, as well as at the same time reaching to grab for Duncan's leg. So like, just because Duncan's feet are behind Steven, it doesn't mean they're safe. If I'm interpreting your question correctly, I guess the main point I'm trying to make is how static they were in this spot, or how static Duncan was in this spot, is what led to his leg getting trapped like that. So foot behind, there are ways to get it. Foot in front, it's already been gotten. It already got. So the answer is movement here, as far as prevention goes. I would love to see Steven front flip into a knee bar. Someone gets there on me. Yeah, and immediately, Steven, for you, when a guy's got his arms around your waist, like forcing your back and shoulders into him, thrusting your hips forward, and just taking like a 2-on-1, like thumb inside his hands and trying to break his grip, which you've probably done. You've probably done it to me. Like, that's such a great way to break grip and get enough bite on the elbow to hit that Kimura. And then when you're trying to base out, they often try to rush into you, and when they do that, they end up leaving their leg exposed, right? The English lessons. I'm just speaking, man. So Steven turning the tables here almost. Duncan's got a bit of a, it wasn't a whizzer per se, just an overhook. What did Mike get on Cole? Or are they just moving? Okay. So I want to see what Cole tries to do with this. So Cole's in kind of a weird spot right now to work from. When you get into half guard on bottom, Cole knows this. This is maybe for some white belts watching. Whatever side you have the leg trap, so in this case he has Mike's right leg trapped. Typically Cole's gonna want his head on the same side, like on this side of the body. Here he's working like a crossbody position. It's impossible to come out the back from this way. There are absolutely leg entrances here. Like he's not far from a deep half guard. In this case, he would want to take like a scoop grip on Mike's left leg with this arm in order to get there. But yeah, I mean, since I don't see him actively entering the legs right now, so I was kind of curious what his intentions were. Really, if you wanted to continue playing a game up top, I would recommend him switching sides, not hanging out here wasting too much energy. Unless he can, even a shoulder push under Mike's left arm probably isn't going to do too much because Mike can base out. And now Mike just takes a big back step out of the guard. Joe's been rolling with Brandon. Okay. Yeah. I think Pat and I must have been doing some guard passing work, but he got a great sweep on me here. So from an open guard, standing versus supine, he's got me way off balance. Works into this butterfly right at my knee. And look how effective. Or is that a butterfly or is it outside? I think. Oh yeah, he's got the black spats on. Messing with my eyes. So look how effective. He's got an outside hook on my leg with his leg, wrist control, and cross lapel control. So we went over this this open guard concept a little bit different a few weeks ago, where typically this foot would be in this hip. You have the cross side lapel grip and you have the same side wrist grip, and that makes for a really, really effective just a good go-to position to work from for open guard. It lends itself to a lot of great submissions and sweeps, and he pulls one on me here. I go to stand up, I can't backstep, I can't even get my my head up because he has control over my shoulders, and with my hips pretty much above my head and him pulling me back down, I just had no way of recovering from that. The best thing I could do from here is, if this was a live roll and not just like passing practice, as he comes up, I can establish some control over a leg. But if I'm trying to pass, I'd rather I would have rather won that game instead. I have no idea what Steven and Brandon were just doing there. Interesting. So Joe is kind of in on he's been in on this for a minute. Cool. Joe's actually working. Does he get there? so hard to tell. I thought you may have been working a rear triangle, but I think you've got both arms in, so it's not going to be a triangle until here. It looks like Brandon sneaks that arm out. Just about. I feel like you probably could have done a number of things with that, Joe. Kind of just had to pick, really. But you're opting for the armbar. Man, I wish I could see from that side. I don't want to conjecture too much, but rear triangle into armbar, malfunction to Kimura. Yeah, I mean that pretty much sums it up. It looked like you were trying to establish the rear triangle. Brandon was just being wise about his arm placement and positioning. Nice. Oh, that's not Austin. That's Anthony. Okay. Anthony not getting the best of the stand-up game and opting to go to close guard. Which, keep in mind, I mean, he's a white belt. You know, he's been doing this for a few months now. Anyone who's gotten far from their white belt roots, remember that's kind of like that was like the original strategy, right? Like, get to close guard, work from there. So it's kind of refreshing to see that. On a brand new white belt, that is. And then he swept me, so. Oh, wait, did he? No. Wait, yeah. I'm all messed up. I'm sick, you guys, if you can't tell. So my brain's not working that great. Let's see if Pat foot sweeps Cole. Always makes me happy. One of these days, some like secret Greco world champion's gonna walk into our school for fun. Cole's gonna do this, and he's gonna get tossed so bad. Or any one of us, really. I shouldn't just pick on Cole. Sorry, man. I have faith in you still. Aggressive grip play going on here. This is Luke and Danny. Luke's just ragdolling Danny. Pat's doing a really good job here with preventing the sweep. So Cole's been working a lot of double overhooks and over-unders lately in the upper body grip. And normally, you know, the good thing about it is those sweeps are really effective, or that, you know, that grip can be very effective when coupled with like a butterfly hook or whatever. But problem with like an over-under is you telegraph which way you're probably going to take the guy. The underhook is going to do the lifting. So knowing that, Pat starts shifting his weight out here to his left, putting Cole to his right hip, making it much more difficult for Cole to be effective with that grip. Like right here, there's no way Cole's going to sweep Pat even before when he did have that grip in. And then Pat gets to start working his passing. I like this, yeah. Damn. That was looking good. I was gonna say, I like this little ankle trap you have going on, like right here, where you could kind of pommel your knee over. Like, you're doing a great job pinning that bottom leg, working to get over. Cole just times it super well. It gets you while your hips are down and takes you over. Typical Cole. But I mean, I guess, you know, the lesson there, Pat, is when you hit this switch out, switch your hips back immediately. Like, this is a good position. Stay there for a nanosecond. You know, you've gotten your leg free. Immediately drive it underneath Cole's legs. Get Cole's knees pointed in this direction. You know, get this leg flat on the mat when you turn his hips up. Yeah, you know, Cole's really good at some of those more opportunistic sweeps. You get your weight off one way or the other, and he takes full advantage of it. So be quick, step out, and then immediately step back in. Mango, what's shaking, man? Haven't seen you in a while. How you been? It's a little bit harder in the gi to work that foot free. Yeah, but he gets it just about. And was that just like a lot of heavy pressure on like the head here? Because I don't think he didn't have a strangling or anything. Last year, college. All right, dude. You stoked to be done with it, or are you going to kind of miss it? Training at a 10th planet. Right on, man. Glad you're still training. Oh, okay. Yeah, I should have guessed. Yeah, he got that left arm extended. Makes sense. Who's Mike training with? Oh, Joe again. I'm pretty far from. I think I'm 12 years out of college now. I can't say I miss it either. It had its moments, but I ain't going back. What was this armbar got? So I'm isolating Anthony's arm. He switches over, so I take the belly down, roll with him. And I just got that like weird leg configuration where I really have like a triangle over his shoulder, and I put my legs behind his head as opposed to across his face and across his body. Makes it difficult to finish a rolling armbar escape or the hitchhiker. That's a bummer, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, if you've got a Flow Grappling subscription and you can watch ADCC, at least you'll be able to catch the replays. Whereas I will be there watching them live, which I'm pretty stoked for. Yeah, Flow Grappling of all the streaming services is probably my least favorite, but it's I had a little Brazilian timeout here. My pants falling down. Yeah, no big deal, dude. Yeah, Flow's clunky and their production values are pretty terrible, especially if you compare them to big dogs like UFC, which is kind of unfair. They're such a small organization. But What are you going to do, man? It's the best we got right now. I'm super stoked for this year though. Every time ADCC posts something on Instagram and it's like the 4x4 picture of like who's in what weight class or whatever, like just reminded how many ridiculously talented names are on the roster this year. So going for a side triangle or a Yoko Senkaku on Duncan. How did I get there? So what was the takedown? Just pretty sloppy Uchimata. And then I worked to get my left leg over Duncan's head, setting up either the side triangle if he stays on his back, or if he rolls up onto his side, I'll work a Kimura from there. And it's nice because those two play really well together. Oh, dude, Cole Abate is like, I know he's so young and everything, and like that's his storyline, but I really think he's gonna be a huge, like he's gonna just be so dangerous for that division. I think he's in 66, right? Like he's in the smallest one, which would be wild if you see him up against like Gary Tonin. Who else? Who from B team is going to be? I want to say Ethan Krellinston is going to be in 66, but I could have that wrong. Foot sweep. Whoop. Cole and Luke. What's going on over here? And yeah, Isaac Michelle after his Gio Martinez is in 66. That's right. And maybe AJ Agazarm, who hasn't been too active as of late, but he's always good at riling up other competitors and shit talking and all that stuff. So that gets some eyeballs on the matches. But yeah, after Isaac's 2 hour or whatever, however long, 3 hour match with Kyle Chambers, I think he's got a lot more people ready to watch him go to war, as long as there's a time limit. Cole working his way to the back, but Luke not having any of it. Just want to see the general progression here. So Cole working from a top half guard with the underhook as well. Luke trying to shift his hips out. Cole doing the best he can to try to get that leg free. Here he gets it free. Luke isn't going to wait too long to let him get to mount or anything. So got to get that knee down, the knee behind his head. Luke's like holding on really hard to that leg. I think Cole went a little prematurely here to try to take the back. Like his hips are still pretty low. Like, I mean, right here you can tell they're pretty close to Luke's hips. So it's going to be difficult to resurrect this, especially against, you know, Luke, who's you know, not just going to let him have that. Excuse me. And Luke immediately taking top position. Apparently, I think flow grappling is super... all right, man. Have a good class. Drop in again, man. It's good to hear from you. You stay safe out there and, you know, do your homework and whatever. I guess ADCC and Flow Grappling are so strict on cell phone usage at their events that, like, if you get caught recording anything, they immediately, like, kick you out and revoke your access. So I won't be able to get any cool, like, footage from the stands or anything. Luke getting mad aggressive on this arm up top. I like that whole progression. So let's see. Luke starts in kind of this like standard, I guess what he would call like a mid mount. Is not sitting directly over the hips, kind of high up in the armpits right now. Slow it down so it looks less jumpy. Two on one to pin, and then replacing it with his shin. Breaking the grip, and just, again, 2 on 1 to the other arm. Notice how he can switch from, like, just, he goes 2 on 1 arm, pins it, frees up his hands to attack the other arm, and just completely breaking the grip, using his legs to do a lot of the work here. And then when the standard, like, double wrist, Kimura style figure 4 grip isn't going to work, and he sees he can't get underneath, he switches up to just bear hugging it to extend the arm out and then fishing the arms in from there. And then flexing hard over Cole. That might be the thumbnail for the week. I love it. No chance to knee bar Cole there. And then he probably just talked to you for a little bit. I think Mike and I have just a passing battle at this point. Cole's not even trying to get under the chin. Just a little face pressure. So, looks like Cole's trying to trap the arm here. Maybe not. Maybe he's just trying to get that leg in, and Steven's hand was down there. He just puts his bicep in my mouth. Just bite him next time, man. Teeth don't leave marks in the gi. Let's see. Before I say anything else. So, again, I think this is an artifact of our some of our students' preference toward no gi. But we get on the back, and the first thing we think about is hitting a rear naked strangle, right? What's going on, dude? We think about hitting that rear naked strangle, even in the gi, when someone's essentially wearing a rope around their neck. We still say, I can strangle better than this rope can strangle them. Oh, he cramps? Is that what happened? Okay. So, Cole, before the cramp set in, may have been more effective with the strangle if instead of focusing on what I assume here is him trying to, like, get the arm under the neck. This hand is already so deep. His right arm is already so deep around Steven's head that he can use his left arm to try to open the lapel a bit and then get, like, a thumb inside grip with Cole could get a thumb inside grip with his right hand and start to more effectively strangle him with the gi, right? Using that sliding collar strangle from the back. I mean, I guess I just hate when I see you guys trying to hit rear naked strangles in the gi. There's really, like, no point in doing it. It's a terrible option. It's so difficult to do. You have as many grips on your arm as the person has around their neck. Like, they could just grip your arm and stop you from doing that. So why even bother with it? Go for collar strangles when you're in the gi. There's no point. Or, you know, 1% of your rolls, you'll find a rear naked strangle. Use the cloth if you can. And don't cramp. Oh, I can tell his foot, his foot's cramping real bad. What a loser, dude. How you doing, Caleb? Wait, who's on bottom here? Okay, Cole's working his double inside butterfly. Just about, man. I'm on the ass end of it where my nose is just like constantly running, but I'm not really like sick. I'm just like ridding myself of whatever it was. Whatever travel crud had infected me. So hopefully I'll be back to it this weekend. So I just want to look at Mike and I here. Mike immediately trying to run around behind. Okay. And I just inverted up. Yeah, you know. Just wipe my snot all over the belt. Never wash the belt. Because that's where your experience is. Alright. Let's look at Stephen and Cole again here. Stephen working from cross side. So I like what Cole's doing here, turning in with this underhook on the top side here. He just really, like, you got to bridge with that. Like, really put some force behind that grip. And work to take Steven over. At the very least, like, he's probably, Steven's not going to just roll over, but you're going to create enough space to where you can re-guard and not be stuck in side control and then, have mount taken on you. But, like, bridging from that, you can think about it as escaping to guard if you bridge and then fill the space with your legs, or you can think about escaping to a sweep, or just like taking a more offensive position where you bridge and then immediately switch down to a single leg and try to wrestle up from there. So you've got defensive options, you got offensive options, but you got to use an effective bridge there. Steven almost getting the jump on him. Cole almost making some effective use of that pants grip, but getting taken over. Just a quick detail that I want to go over for anybody who I was talking about front headlocks with. I think Mike and I were going over that with Austin lately with go behinds from this like front headlock positioning and someone turtled up. I'm gonna go to my left. I pretty much always do. Notice my left leg is gonna step up and I'm gonna get my knee in behind Mike's tricep before anything. Well, after this weak 10-finger attempt. Watch my left knee. It drives into the hole as I switch my hips around, and then I take the time to switch to where I really want to be, which is working to get my right leg in as the hook. I don't do this first. I don't jump to this position. If Mike extends his arm up and gets it around my hip, I'm basically being put over at that point. So everybody should really focus on safely getting to the back when working against someone in a turtled up position. And you do that with effective go behinds. You can do it with your knee, your elbow, your hand, your head. Those are probably the most common ones. But definitely put those into practice. Oh, Steven almost Kimura'd him. Cole and I have a mostly friendly ending roll until he starts sandpapering my face with his gi later. And then I had to get him back. Easy sweep. Am I the only one who feels like when Cole just decides he's gonna like progress, he just does it? Like, I'm sure there's maybe a size difference explanation for it, but he's just like, get this leg out of here, and quite deliberately just moves my limbs when he doesn't want him there. Not even in like, I mean, I guess it's muscly in the way that he's strong and is using his muscles to do it, but like he does it in a technically proficient sort of way, you know. I need to stop rolling with him like at the end of class. Or just wait for him to cramp. Yeah, like he just chooses like, all right, I'm gonna get on top now. Or I don't want you on me anymore. You can get off of me now. He does show up fresh. I hope you guys aren't hearing me blow my nose, but it's too much to mute my mic over and over. Actually, I can just do it with the click of a button. Never mind. And like right here, I can immediately, you know, I know Cole wants to go to mount because he's like, let's get these legs out of the way. And I'm going to step over. I think I catch his ankle here, but... My right arm is doing nothing out there. Like, it's just... If that was any one of you, I would make fun of you for it, so... I should probably make fun of myself. Here, working from half guard. Back up to a seated guard. Try to hit a lapel drag there. Or a collar drag. And then one other, like, concept that, I don't know, it recently has been coming up in some of, like, what I've been studying, that I feel like maybe we just kind of take it for granted, is, like, sometimes you can't just break a grip. And when you can't break a grip, you could still do something to negate it. So, like, I'm not going to get Cole's grip off of my cross collar here, like this, with his right hand where he's gripping me here. I don't, not only is it like a strong grip, I can't afford to take my own hands off of, like, his, you know, right now his leg and his chest to attack this grip and try to break it off. He's just going to disrupt my balance at that point. So I have to negate it somehow or make it a lot less effective. And I do that with kind of an overwrapping grip on his arm. You'll see I do that here. And I, with my left arm, I kind of break his elbow down. You saw it right there. Like, I don't want him to be able to stiff arm me away or pull me in well. So I need to make his arm less effective. So I get my elbow inside it. I have my own grip right here that he's not addressing. And I'm just shutting down his arm to try to make his grip a little less effective. It's not 100%, like, but it's taking away some of his grip superiority that he has on me. So when you guys are experiencing some of that, like in standing, you know, where the grip fight is kind of obvious, you know, it's obvious who has the more powerful grips a lot of times. You know, if somebody has a straight side grip on me, if I can't get inside, if I can't break their grip, I can go over their grip and try to get my elbow in and down and make their grip less effective. So when you can't break a grip, think about ways that you can negate them or make them less effective. And here I'm just scraping Cole's face with my gi because he did it to me earlier. I didn't see when he did it, but he made it a point to do it, I remember, and it hurt. So I had to get him back. Oh, so lucky. All right. Rad. Great stuff tonight, you guys. And great questions from the chat. Good to see some old faces again, some new faces. A new friend from Turkey. That's always fun. As always, you guys know the deal. If you have any questions, if there was anything I said, thank you, James. I appreciate that you appreciate the gi streams. And keep in mind, Sunday, if you guys are around, before I forget to mention anything, Sunday, if all goes according to plan, and everything works out schedule-wise, we'll have Miguel from Montgomery BJJ tuning in. We're going to go over Monday's footage on Sunday. That way, we'll be going over the no-gi stuff this week. It'll just be a little bit later. There was just such a great turnout for that class that I wanted to have enough good footage to go over with Miguel. So bring some questions and comments and all that stuff for that chat. Thank you for everything tonight. Thank you, guys. Bring any other questions you have to class, anything you want to go over specifically, all that good stuff. Follow us here, subscribe here. You can tip us over at coffee.com/MOBJJ if you like what we're doing. This will be up on YouTube. Go subscribe there as well. And what else? I think that's about it. We will see you guys back on the mats. Hopefully I won't be all snotty and congested and can roll with you guys soon. So take it easy. We'll see you guys later. Oh, and trim your nails and do your laundry. Don't be stinky. See ya.